Hello viewers, welcome to Face to Face. This is the English spoken program, and usually we discuss about various topics, and I'm William Brindley as your host for this episode. Instead of discussing about various topics, I'm gonna invite again one of the my guests for today's episode, and he's actually a lecturer in BINUSTV University, and curious about about his personality or what you can get, what motivations or some sort of knowledge or his experience. He's gonna share his experience right now. So I'm gonna invite my guest for today's episode. Here is Daniel Wiguna. Yeah. So hello.
Hello. Good
Hello.
to see you, William.
Yeah. Hello.
Good to see you today.
Okay. Let's have a seat first.
Thank you.
And nice to have you on this show. And maybe
nice
first,
to have you too.
you can introduce yourself first to the viewers.
Okay. I should look there. Okay. Thank you. Hello, viewers. My name is Daniel Wiguna, and I'm currently now working as a lecturer in BINUSTV University. And I think this would be my second to third years of lecturing in BINUSTV University. So now I got more jobs to do because it is already running for 2 to 3 years. They promote me to be an advisor for thesis defense and so on, like studying job, lecturing job, and else.
Oh yeah, so the responsibility is extended to
another
horizon.
Yes.
And maybe you can, share about what you are currently doing at the moment.
At the moment, in my job,
Yeah,
in my lecturing job. Now I'm currently lecturing for the short semester term, and it is coming to the end of the weeks. End of the week for this week, so I'm now waiting for another schedule for my next semester lecturing class. So when I'm lecturing, what did I do when I lecture is just not very different from students. So we are learning.
So it's kind of like like bridging the gap between the students and
yes.
lecturers also.
So it makes me think that I have no difference between the students, lecturers and students. For me, have no difference, just small difference, and they would be defined by the books that they read. So what define a teacher is what kind of how many books that the lecturer read, and what define a student is how many books did the student read. So if they already read the same amount of books, then I think they have no difference.
Yeah, so it's like based on the knowledge. It's kind of like in knowledge sharing, and also
exactly.
Balance.
So beside that, that is the studying stuff, the learning stuff of my job, and the working part is just I'm examining the assignment and giving more assignment and so on and advising for thesis defense and examining for thesis defense, just that kind of job.
Those are the activities that you're currently doing.
Mostly I spend my time reading. This is the most interesting part of my job, because when you be a lecturer, they give you a lot of time, a really lot of time to read and to do a research. So it's like for me this is very funny, because why? Usually when you read the books and you write something, people don't pay you, right? When you be a lecturer, they pay you because you are reading and writing something. So I think this job is really funny. So
those are the advantages. You think, in your opinion, is the advantages of being a lecturer.
That is the advantage.
Okay, maybe you can give some notes that maybe some other universities having their own short semester, but for BINUS University, I think the objectives of short semesters are a little bit different. Like,
Yes.
short semesters are for students who are
Sure, because in short semester they cut most of your time to study, right? In 1 week you need to proceed like 2 chapter of the books, so one chapter will consist like 30 pages to 40 pages, so it means in 1 week you need to learn about 80 pages, read about 80 pages and understand about it if you want to pass. If you want to pass with a good score, well, that is not only the job for the student, it is also the job for the lecturer, because I have to read the material once again, just to refresh my mind about the material. So beside that, the difference is between the exam. So in short semester they only give you like one chance to do the exam. For students, only one chance.
Only one chance.
Yes, for so it will and that one and the result will be for your final result. So that one chance of examination will define everything about your score, passing, either you're passing or not.
Oh, so
yes, so it's kind of serious, not only for the student but for the lecturers, because for me I have to make sure that the information that I transfer they can understand
in a short period
of
time.
Well, yes, in a short period of time. So it's like a challenge. It's like a challenge for me. So I need to find some unique way to transfer what I think about the material to their mind. So that is the challenge.
Yes, those are the challenges, but those are also motivates you to
motivate, of course,
become a lecturer,
become better in lecturing.
Yeah, better in lecturing. And so maybe you can tell us about the profession or experience that you had before you become a lecturer.
Before I became a lecturer, previously I worked in energy company, but that is just for internship, 6 months to 1 year, and after that I continue my job working at property consultant in the capital of Jakarta, some property consultant. So it mostly done like selling and leasing.
So involved.
Yes, selling and leasing job.
Like
that
property,
is so that is the job that really needs my expertise in university, right? But when I do my internship, I'm working as a human resource. So
so you get various kind of experience.
I have various type of job, but I think the connection between both of the job is communication. So that what links them, the communication. When I work as a human resource, they taught me how to use my communication skill to connect with others, and when I work in property consultant, they force me to use my communication skill to connect with others, plus
to connect with
sell,
the clients.
yes, to connect with the clients, and plus to sell and to lease my product. So I think both of the job have their own challenge.
So does it relate to your academic background, like those kind of your previous jobs?
Yes, of course. It really linked to my previous academic background, because my academic background is communication, marketing communication. So even human resource needs communication. They really needs communication. So when what I learned from both of the jobs and my jobs now as a lecturer, when I link my experience in working, human relation is more important than product knowledge. this is really, really interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because when you want to sell products, you need to relate more better to your clients, right? So your skill to build a relation is needed there, and every job that I do needs human relation. So I think human relation is important than just knowing the knowledge of what I am doing. Yes, I think that would be the challenge.
So it's like implement those kind of
and
knowledge.
That is the connection, the human relation. Human relation that I learned from my academic background.
Yeah, and let's discuss about like finding your passion as you go through these various experiences, and how did you kind of like find, or is it your passion yet to become a lecturer, or can you discuss about the process?
This is I personally think this this kind of question is too fast for the first session. but it's okay.
Let's make it gritty.
Yes, it's really interesting if we talk about passion, because everybody, the interesting part is everybody have passion, but they don't realize about it, and they don't understand about what is their passion. Furthermore, some people I see that when they do not know their passion, it means they do not know their self. So this is really interesting. So when we talk about passion, it is as equal as we talk about our own self, on our own self. How do we connect to our own self? So if you know yourself better, then you will understand a lot more about your passion. So, and when I connect these understanding with your question, I will imply that is this job my passion? I would say yes, because my passion is not about the job. My passion is about to learn something.
To learn something.
So in every place you can learn something new, right? So the question is, why would you learn? For me, learning is about to finding more value.
It's getting interesting in the discussion.
That's
It's getting interesting, but we have to take a little break, so don't go anywhere. Still on Face to Face. Hello viewers, welcome back to Face to Face. If you're just tuning in, I'm William Grinaldi. I'm inviting one of the lecturers in BINUS University, and he is Daniel Wiguna, and we're currently discussing about about finding your passion and relating to the experience that you've got from your previous jobs.
To my job.
Yeah, previous jobs, and maybe you can continue about this discussion.
About the passion part. Okay. So passion is knowing passion is about knowing about yourself. So for me, finding my passion is all about learning and finding my value. So as far as I'm finding about myself and my value, I'm learning that quality is more important than quality. So for me, I will find a job that can give me more quality. Yes. Not more, but quality at first and the quantity at second. So when I see lecturing, I think most people lecturing cannot give them a lot of money and so on and so on and so on.
Some people have that kind of perception.
Yes. So they put lecturing not as their passion. So I think that kind of person is not wrong, because they have their own needs, right? And needs is about knowing about yourself also. So that is not wrong. For me, quality is more important about quantity. So lecturing, I think lecturing will give me a lot of quality, a lot of value of being a person than any other job. So if I can find any other jobs more than lecturing, I will try to keep lecturing. I will try to keep lecturing because what I do, lecturing is giving me what I want. Lecturing giving me value. So the question is like this: did your job change you into a better person?
Do your job.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
change.
Yes,
You know,
change you
change
into
who
a
you
better person.
are,
Yes.
yeah.
When I ask myself, I would say yes. Lecturing changed me a lot about being a person. I learned a lot here. I'm understanding a lot about myself. I'm understanding a lot about others, and so on. And I'm trying and learning to connect it better with others. And I think that would be the value, and that what makes me happy with the job.
And maybe you can tell me the reason why do you want to be a lecturer? Like for, as you mentioned before, you are the lecturer, one of the lecturers in field of communication. Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe you can tell me about the reason why you want to
Mm.
take that specific major or
Specific,
specific
the communication major.
expertise,
Okay, okay. So we will go back a little bit far
Oh yeah.
because my bachelor degree is also communication,
Oh, yeah.
and master degree is also communication. So I really love to learn communication because communication is the only way we can connect to others, right? You can whatever you do, whatever you say, it is communication.
Yeah.
So
Even if it is unintended.
Yes, even if it is unintended. So it means even when you live in a forest, when you live in a jungle alone, you are communicating something. You are communicating something,
Yeah.
believe it or not. So this is really interesting. I can connect to others even if I don't want to. That is communication. So that is the things that makes me feel that communication is really interesting to learn, interesting field to learn. How do you connect to others better? Because mostly after I finished my bachelor degree, I saw a lot of example of a person that cannot respond well to others. Well, you can respond, you can communicate well if you need something, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't need, it defines who you really are. So communication works in that way also. So how can you be a good person? How can you be a good person even if you want to or you don't want to? Well, that is communication also. So I can see that there is a lot of perspective that make communication so interesting for me. So it's like reading science. I am a person who really love to read science. And science is also communication, right?
Yeah, I study science
Yes,
and communication.
and I study science. I make thesis about science in my master degree because I really love to read science. Because science communicate a lot of things, So they say like science can tell you in human science can tell you like 60 to 70% about a person. So if you don't even if you don't want to talk, I can still understand who you really are and what kind of person are you. Well, that is the interesting part of communication. But for I think that is for my personal advantage, right? For my professional advantage of learning communication is back to my previous
academic background.
Academic background, that I can connect better to others. I can connect with communication, and that is true. That is true.
So those are the interesting points of learning
Yes.
communication.
Yes, a lot of this interesting points, and that interesting points connects me better to others. And I think that would be happiness, right? If you can connect better to others, that would be happiness.
And let's talk about some of the subjects that you are lecturing about in BINUS University.
The subject in BINUS, mostly I lecture in public relation field of experience. Public relation subjects such as introduction to public relation, introduction to communication science, public opinion, public relation advertising, public relation and branding, and organizational communication. And I think that would be the most subject that I lecture this past few semesters.
Oh yeah, so maybe you can tell me about some of the subjects that you mentioned, like how did you get interested in those kind of subjects, or are these like chosen?
This is funny because you cannot choose what kind of subjects that you have to lecture. Yes, honestly speaking, right? Yeah. Honestly speaking, you cannot choose, but they give you assignment. They give you assignment to lecture based on your field of experience, based on your academic background. So if you don't really understand about the subject, then I think that's why they pay you, right? You have to learn about it. You have to learn about it, and you have to lecture. Okay. And I think that is the funny part that I already told you, right? They pay you to study, and that is really, really funny for me.
Yeah, we can tell me about the experience that you had, from lecturing those kind of subjects. Maybe some, memorable moments in the class,
funny
or
moments.
Something.
Yes, I meet. First, I meet a lot of people, which is students that, and the students and their age is not too far from my age, so
so you can
easily
relate to them.
Yes, easily more relate to them, and I think that would be the advantage, right?
Yeah.
And it is really they give me a lot of experience also, because I'm learning not only from what I learned from the textbook, I learn from my student also. What I learn from my student is how to handle myself. Mostly. What I learn about the subject is already been done before I go into the class. When I'm in the class, I am the one who have to study from the students. So interesting.
Like a reciprocal activity.
Yes,
there.
The challenge of transferring this information right here to their head. So I use several techniques to make them feel interesting, to make them feel passionate, motivated about the subject, even if the subject is really, really boring for them. Usually, most of them, some of them is sleeping, some of them playing in the back side of the class.
They're busy with themselves.
With themselves, but it is. I think that is the challenge. The challenge. So mostly for the students like that, I communicate. I'm trying to communicate with that kind of student better, because usually that kind of students they don't feel motivated, right? So my challenge is motivating them to feel as passionate as me when I'm lecturing.
To
sometimes
kind of grow their passion.
Sometimes I'm taking a picture of them, posting in the social media, so they can feel funny about it and not too serious about the subject and so on.
Oh yeah. So maybe you can tell me about those kind of specific experience, especially when you first become a lecturer. Maybe you can tell me about it. But
of course,
right after the break, still on Face to Face. viewers. If you're just tuning in, this is Face to Face, is the English program, and I'm William Rinaldi, and we are currently inviting one of the lecturers in BINUS University, and we are discussing about finding your passion, finding someone else's passion, and based on your perspectives,
based on my perspective.
And based on your experience, as we discussed before, later on the previous segment, we discussed about your experience lecturing, and maybe you can share about the experience lecturing for the first time, maybe.
Okay, the first time. The first time of lecturing is a moment that I couldn't forget. I couldn't forget because. As I told you, my age is not too different to my to my students. So when I go to the class, many of them didn't recognize me as their lecturer. So I sit in the student chair, sit with them, talk with them, and just discussing about some materials, and then I move to sit to the lecturer's chair. When I sit to the lecturer's chair, the students that I already talked to before tell me that sorry, you cannot sit there. That is the lecturer's chair. That is the lecturer's chair. You cannot sit there. Oh, and I say, oh, it's okay, it's okay. So I go sit back with them, just waiting for another minutes until every people gathered. Many students already gathered. And then I move back to my to the lecturer's chair. And then some of them keep telling me, you cannot sit there. That is for the lecturer. And then I said, well, that's okay, because I have the box. In BINUS University, they give you the blue box. We call them the magic box. That contain the mic and the marker and so on. I take that from my bag, and they shocked. And they couldn't say anything until the end of the class. They just laughing. So that is
it's a way to make a first impression.
Yes, first funny impression that I cannot forget.
Yes, it's kind of like that. Yeah. So those kind of like the funny moments when you're lecturing. Yeah. And maybe you can like tell those kind of like the interesting moments, and maybe have you crossed your mind like maybe you can try to lecture another subject besides the subjects that you mentioned before? Are you having an interest in other fields of communication?
Yes, if they give me the opportunity to lecture more subject, I would be really embrace it, as long as it is in the field of public relations studies, because in BINUS University the marketing communication major have several sub-major. So they have like broadcasting, journalism, digital journalism, and public relation. So as long as they give me the subject that is in my field of expertise, I would really embrace it, because that would be my responsibility, right?
So you're teaching like the first semester, like the third semester mostly?
It's kind of mix, because some subject I have to taught to the higher semester, some subject I have to taught in the lower semester, but it's okay. It is a matter of how you master the subject. So it's fine. So the difference is the students. The difference is only the student. How will you relate to the students? Because as far as I learn, the ability to connect with your students will bring you better result. Not your ability, as I said to you earlier, that the ability of human relation is better than product knowledge, because I already experienced this. When I connect to my students better, when I connect to my students better, it brings them not only for me, not only for my KPI, but for their own good, they also get a better score. They also get a better score. So when I didn't relate to several, didn't relate better to several students, that students have a lower score. So I think, and that happens not only in one semester, but every semester. Several times in every semester it occurs, things like that. So this is unique. Maybe someday I will make research about this kind of phenomenon, right? This is unique because when you connect better to the students, they will have a good result.
So those kind of interesting
to
be studied. And does it have a difference between students from the lower semester and the higher semester when it comes to your lecturing?
The difference, I think, students would be the same, just because a little things that makes them different is their responsibility. Students in the lower semester have quite, I think, not too much responsibility to do, and students in higher semester have a lot of responsibility to do, such as they have to go to do some internship in a company, and also they have to create some paper for their thesis defense. So that is the only thing that makes them different. So I think the responsibility that makes them different.
So this kind of, do you prefer to give group assignments or personal assignments?
For me,
what kind of form of assignments?
For communication studies, I mostly give them group assignment. I really like to give them group assignment because communication, right? You need to relate to others. So even when I already gave them a group assignment, some of them is still find difficulties. Sometimes they come to me and say, "Oh, I don't really like to be in one group with this one or with this one." So I ask my students. I ask them. I ask them back. Do you want to finish this subject in a better score, in a good score, or you want to keep your relationship problem? If you want to have a better score, you need to try to adapt with your group, right? Use your communication skill. So
that would be things, like
that
how to adapt to different situations.
Yes, exactly. That would be the reality, the practice of using communication theory.
So coming to the motivations for you to lecture, is there any specific thing or or anyone or kind of the person you try to get inspirations from when you try to lecture?
For lecturing, mostly I read about this book. I read about him after I'm lecturing. To be honest, after I'm lecturing, I just read about him. I read a lot about Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates, Descartes, some Greek philosophers, because they are all thinkers, right? And lecturing is mostly thinking. So I think reading about their books will tell me a lot about thinking. So my motivation mostly comes from them. So some of the quote that I really like from Aristotle is Aristotle never teach a person something, they just make that person think.
Oh, I see.
So I think
persuade.
Yes, this is a deep quote, right? Deep quote. So I like and that quote motivates me. So yes.
So those kind of
and others, yes,
inspirations,
others than the Greek philosophers, I like to read from John C. Maxwell,
Oh yeah.
the leadership figure in United States, in England, and others I read more books about passion from Reni Suhardono, if you know,
Oh, yeah.
and others theories, and mostly academic books.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's related to your
Yes.
passions.
Yes.
And maybe you can tell me about like when you're lecturing, like what has been the hardest challenge that you ever made, when you
The hardest
still
challenge of
become a lecturer.
lecturing.
Yeah.
The hardest challenge of become a lecturer is not when I'm working, actually. The hardest challenge is responding to a person that telling me lecturing will never give you a lot of money.
Oh.
Well, that is the challenge. How do I respond with this kind of person? Right?
Yeah.
Because this is really unsolved problem for several people, because some people thinks money is quantity is better. Yes, quantity is important, while I'm thinking that quality is more important. But it doesn't mean I don't think about the quantity. I also think about the quantity, but for me quality is more important.
That's what you gain, what you, the value.
Yes. So it makes me comes to this one books about the author would be Robert T. Kiyosaki,
Yeah.
and the book's title is Rich Dad and Poor Dad. It teach me the book teach me a lot about lecturing and how to respond about this kind of person.
Oh, so you basically like gain motivation, inspirations
Yes.
from books,
Yes.
from some kind of like
Yes.
people's
Yes.
thoughts, about responding.
About responding, about thinking and else.
Okay, we will continue these exciting conversations, but still, right after break, still on Face to Face. So stay tuned. Viewers, welcome back to Face to Face, and now we've come to the last segment of our show, and I'm Rinaldi. We're currently discussing about finding your passion with my guest for today, Daniel Wiguna, and we're just currently discussing about your experience and also about finding passions and finding someone else's passions.
Yes.
And based on experience, maybe have you ever feel bored or feel like like getting tired of doing
What
the
I'm
same
doing,
activities?
yes. Interesting. Because yes, I'm still a human, So sometimes even if I say that this is a passion, my body is tired. Yes, my body is tired, but I always feel passionate to do it. So that is two different things. When your body is tired, you need to rest. And about your passion, your passionate job, you cannot just tired. You cannot just tired, because you stop not when you are tired. You have to stop when you are done. And when you do your passion, there is no words about tired. Getting tired. Your body is tired.
Yeah.
Yes, your body is tired, but your heart that holds your passion is not.
Passion is like something that drives you
Yes.
to overcome
to do
those
something,
kind
to
of
do
boundaries and to
Yes,
to
but
reach
sometimes I think sometimes you do something, you think that that is your passion, and you don't understand what you are doing. Sometimes when you are lucky, what you do that you don't understand is your passion when you are lucky. But if you are not lucky, you need to move, right? You need to move to another job that suits your passion. So when you find this kind of problem, it makes you think a lot, right? It makes you think a lot. And when you think a lot about this problem, what is my passion? What is really, really my passion? Why do I don't find any happiness doing this kind of things?
Yeah.
Sometimes that kind of question cannot be answered by human, by people. Even your parents cannot answer you. Even or maybe even the smartest person cannot answer you. That kind of answer you will find by reading. So that's why most of my passion, I get my understanding about my passion from reading books, because people cannot answer my question. I have to find it by myself. That's why I find it in books or quotes or people from author, maybe from author that I find, from a public figure, and so on.
Yeah, people's thoughts in translating a book, yeah.
Yes.
So like, you seem to like really like to read a lot. Maybe does does it like relate to your previous experience, or did you happen to do it as a habit or something?
About habit about reading.
Yeah, but reading
I think
maybe
now,
yeah,
for now reading is not only my habit but my need. Wherever I go, I always bring some books to read, because and my target, this is not my target, this is my okay, we can call it target. Like, I read minimum 10 pages for one day, minimum 10 pages for me. So it can helps me to think. Our brain needs
to exercise.
Needs to exercise also, right? Not only our body, but our brain needs to exercise. How do you exercise your brain? Is by reading.
Yes.
By reading. To keep your mind sharp.
Oh yeah. Yes. So maybe those kind of tips that maybe inspire our viewers. Yeah.
I hope. So, well, that's interesting about inspiring, because lately I understand that we cannot change others. This is related to human relation, also related to human relation. I mean, we cannot change others. We only have the privilege to control them. And how do you control others? Is by controlling yourself. Well, that is the key, and that is important. And I know that by reading. Interesting, right? So I think viewers, if you watch this, you need to read a lot about this. You need to read a lot about what you are interested with, what you are passionate with.
So is it necessary to find, your passion, or to somebody to find their passion?
This is yes, this is related to finding our passions also. And when you find your passion, it doesn't mean it's not always. It doesn't mean you can help others to find their passion. That is the part that others have to find themselves. So as I said, right, you cannot change people. You only can control them. If you want, so usually I always say to people that finding hard times to find their passion, I always said to them, I control them by told them to read. Read, you have to read, because if you read, maybe you can find the answer there. But you have to read the right books. After you read, you need to share to others. You need to share. Without sharing, there is no knowledge transfer. So this is reciprocal. So well, that would be the interesting part about finding your passion.
Yeah, so it's like, it's necessary like
yes,
to...
Yes, it's not only about our own self, but this is have all things to do with connecting better to others.
So you have to like self-contemplate, and also you have to like share to others also.
Yes, exactly.
So it's also a part of like what you studied, like like building relationships, also communication. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
maybe you have like some kind of motivation based on your experience that you want to share to the viewers relating to finding passions or do what you love to do.
Okay. So I will make it simple, a little bit simple. I just want to tell the viewers that you all need to focus on learning. This is based on my perspective, right?
Yeah.
Everybody needs to focus about learning. People needs to focus about learning even when they are working. Why? Because if people stop learning, it means they are stopped to living.
Yeah,
They
every
are
day.
stopped to living. Yeah. Every day you
Every
will
day we
learn
learn something new.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you have a bad attitude of refusing learning something, it means you are closing the door. You are closing the door to improve your passion. To improve your passion. So, if you want to find your passion, if you want to improve your passion, the first step is learning. You need to have the passion to learn everything. Well, that would be the interesting of finding your passion.
So those kind of like some key features on how to
Yes.
finding
Yes.
your passion,
Yes.
finding someone else's
Exactly.
passions that
So
hopefully will help.
learning first, passion will comes later.
Okay. So yeah, hopefully those kind of words of motivations will inspire the viewers, inspire you to find your passion, to do what you love to do. And we've come to the end of the show, unfortunately. Though we want to talk more about finding your passions, but until the end, I'm William Rinaldi, and my guest for today's episode, Daniel Wiguna, sign off from this episode of Talk Show. We'll see you later on the next episode, still on Face to Face. Bye bye.